AI. हमने
अच्छा, आप ये लेक्चर रिकॉर्ड करेंगे?
मैं कर रहा हूँ. We haven't discussed AI till now, have we? No, we haven't. है ना? Artificial intelligence हम discuss
नो सर.
नहीं discuss किया. So पहले I'll just start with this my slide. Now basically artificial intelligence is the future. Your data science, your AI, machine learning, this is the future. And obviously, all those countries that will be engaged in the development of AI will lead a lot ahead. With AI, you can see AI in application in many places. So basically, what is AI? AI is basically when computers are used in such a way that they can mimic human knowledge and behave like them. So when they learn from their experiences. So as far as AI is concerned, basically it's all about when they interact with humans using our language. Okay, so computers will be using our language. They provide more accurate results. AI, in case of AI, they learn from their mistakes, and that is one of the most important things. They learn from their mistakes, and they would adapt to new environments. We will learn about all about this today. And last and most important thing is learn from the data and automate repetitive learning. This is where deep learning comes into existence. We will discuss what deep learning actually is. If you look into the entire structure of this, AI is a general term that we usually talk about. We generally mean that any technique that enables humans to mimic human intelligence, okay, or using this, certain kinds of if then else conditions or logic or decision tables, okay, so we can actually make computers to learn from the experiences. The concept of fuzzy logic comes in, where computers start asking questions, okay, just not obey commands. Machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence. Machine learning basically means that when you enable computers to improve at tasks with experience. For example, one of the typical example is that if you want to distinguish between different animals and you want the robot or the computer to distinguish between a cat and a dog, obviously you have to tell the computer, you have to tell what is the size of each animal, okay, what are the different features that would distinguish from a cat from a dog, okay, what are different kinds of cat, what are different kinds of dog, what are different kinds of color you will find in case of cat and dog, okay. So from all the size, the scales, you will actually dot each and every shape of the cat and the dog to basically tell what different shapes can we find them in. And just like humans, as we grow up from the early years, we start learning from experiences. You can actually make your computers learn from their experiences. Now, deep learning basically is that neural networks, just like we in our brain, we have neurons. Over here, we have neural networks that can basically process information and again and again, save it in the database, and keep on learning from their knowledge. Frankly, deep learning has evolved to a lot of extent. You might have seen and noticed, बल्कि मैं आपको दिखा भी देता हूँ कि मैंने ओपन किया हुआ था. One second, sorry. It was over here. Yes, it was over here. आपने सुना होगा recently के 1940s and 1930s की images were converted into colors. You see, they were converted to colors. This was basically done through deep learning. How is it done? How would it know that for every frame that it's playing a video, that when it sees the sky, what color should it be? When it sees the fields, what color should it be? When it sees a building, how am I supposed to know? So in case of deep learning, what you will be doing is you will be providing the system with a lot of information. So you need to have a very powerful processing computer for this in case of deep learning, because you will have a huge database to compare with. And this is from where it will learn. So recently, do you ever have you ever visited Pinterest or Pinterest? कभी आपने use किया उसको? It's a very amazing website and app. Okay, for
No, sir.
come on, seriously, being computing, so you should pin interest or उसको p interest भी कह सकते हो. You try to visit it. Uh, just type in any topic, home gardening. मैं कब दिखाता हूँ. Just hold on, just hold on. Let me show you something, and you will realize that is um, how is it using AI within this. So if I use p interest, let's say, and I'll just show you because I was using once, and फिर मैंने सोचा मैंने कहा इसमें AI use हुआ है. Okay, so then I did some investigation on it. For example, आप ये note करोगे कि if I, let's say, if I like this particular image, I click on it. Okay, it shows me this image. But if I go down here, you will see it shows me the same category. Now, as a lame user कहेंगे तो इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है? वो वैसे इमेज है तो उसने वही वर्ड ढूंढ के यहाँ पे दे दी. No, it's not that. This information is coming from lots of different websites that are not all in English even. So they're not using the same word. It's not that the text is being used from these images to display these images. ऐसा नहीं है. What it's doing is it's learning, it has learned from the image what are the patterns over here. और जो patterns को यहाँ नजर आ रहे हैं उन्हीं patterns को यहाँ display करा रहे हैं. मैं further let's say अगर click करता हूँ किसी ऐसे image पे where I have this, look at this one. This is different. Okay, we have this one, right? So it shows me this. If I click on this, I will walking path. It will show me what different मैं कोई करता हूँ. That was not a page, वो एक video थी. तो video के अंदर तो obviously ऐसा नहीं होगा ना. ये भी can video now. ये भी videos actually. Videos में उस तरह नहीं होता. I'll go back. क्योंकि video में you have a set of things you obviously can't select from there. But anyway,
Excuse me, sir.
जी बेटा.
सर हमें इसके बारे में एक्चुअली पता है, वो मैं पहले समझ नहीं आई थी, लेकिन हम इसके बारे में
क्या बेटा?
अभी इससे पहले मैं ये यूज कर रही थी.
आप कर रही होगी, बिल्कुल आपको कर रही होगी. Pinterest is something amazing. मगर आपको ज़रा सरप्राइजिंग बात नहीं लगी थी कि whenever you click on something, you start getting exactly the same photos below. And this is what machine learning is all about. It's all machine learning. And then मैंने फिर सर्च भी किया था इसके ऊपर Pinterest कि वो जो मैं कह रहा हूँ सही कह रहा हूँ कि नहीं कह रहा. And yes, I was right. How Pinterest uses AI to capture our imaginations. It does. Pinterest is using AI. So I was right about it. अब जहाँ भी तुम ऐसे देखोगे where any system or software or an app learns from its experiences, this is what your machine learning actually is. Okay, so it's a very interesting thing. So it's not only limited to this particular part. If you talk about self-driving cars, उसमें भी ये use हो रहा है. ठीक है? So this is basically what AI actually is all about. इसको हम डिटेल में आज डिस्कस करते हैं in detail. So let me just skip this part a bit. So deep learning, both machines and deep learning are subsets of AI. Okay, but deep learning represents the next evolution of machine learning. Okay, you would say deep learning is a much more detailed learning process as compared to machine learning. But in case of deep learning, you need to have much more wider range of data provided to the computer in order to make a decision. That's how machine learning, deep learning works. Okay. Google, अगर Google search engine में जाते हो, Google also uses it. वो किस तरह होता है कि for example, whenever you're searching for some information and whenever you search for it and you just click on the second link and the third link, some other person when searches for the same information clicks on the second link. The third person also clicks on this second link. So let's say out of 100 users, 70 people, while they were searching for that particular word string, they clicked on the second link, then the third link. So it would know that the second link is providing the user what they want. because we need to obviously satisfy the user, and the user जो जो उनकी demand होगी वो सही होगा ना. And let's say if we are not able to find it, we will go to the next page, and we'll keep on trying to finding it. So your Google search engine basically learns from the user experience all over, and it collects a huge database from everywhere and feeds it in. This is one of the feature that helps your site to come in the top 10 of the Google. जो कहते हैं ना search engine optimization, वो भी technique है, मगर that is a very tough technique to bring your website at the top 10. Usually search engine जो optimization है, it happens through this. If your website is providing good information, then your website automatically will come at the top. Okay. So in machine learning, algorithms created by human programmers are responsible for parsing and learning from data. They make decisions based on what they learn from the data. Deep learning learns through artificial neural networks that acts very much like human brain and allows the machine to analyze. Anyway, so self-driving cars is one of the example. You know about Tesla, very good example. Tesla में ये होता है कि every time you choose a new different route, it will learn कहाँ कितनी turns आ रही हैं. At 500 meters from that particular place, there will be sharp turn. Then there will be uphill. Then there will be downhill. There will be 3-4 crossings in between where probably we did stop last time, and we so next time so it will save all this. It has sensors. It takes the data from the environment. It keeps on saving in the database, and this will be processed for the later route. So it will create all this with the help of complex algorithms saved within its processing. उससे ये फायदा होगा कि next time if I travel in the same route east to west में जाता हूँ और drive करता हूँ तो it will know, okay, yes, so now after 500 meters I will have the following turn, so on and so. So after few driving, can you hear me better? आपको आवाज आ रही है ना? क्योंकि वो
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. So after few driving around the town, your self-driving car would have saved enough information so that you can use it. और इसलिए टेस्ला आफ्टर फ्यू ड्राइव्स के बाद, अच्छा नॉट ओनली दैट, टेस्ला में सिर्फ ये चीज नहीं है, टेस्ला में बिल्ट इन भी आता है. सो इट हैज द एंटायर मैप ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर कंट्री जहाँ वो प्रोवाइड की जा रही है. ईच एंड एवरी स्ट्रीट के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन पहले ही है. उसके अलावा मैं बात कर रहा हूँ कि अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट you don't know कि कल एक जगह पे स्पीड ब्रेकर बनाया गया, वो तो खैर they can't feed it in every time. There's a road being constructed, they can't feed it in every time. Okay, so any new changes that come in, that will be added to it as well. So what you do is you insert a model, a full developed model into the car computing system. Plus, at the same time, using sensors, you take the data from the environment, and using all this, you build is a self-driving car that uses AI. This is what AI actually is. Okay, so the more we start training our computers, this is where your AI will become more and more powerful. We'll talk about super intelligent AI as well. So deep learning in healthcare, it can help a lot in telling what type of allergies might arise because of what type of precautions you have to take. So it can really study the composition of cells in a much more deep manner. Probably humans wouldn't do it. This is where AI can help in healthcare as well. Okay, so voice search and voice activated assistance. ठीक है, there are lots of Google Now आ गया आपका, ठीक है, Android. Okay, Siri का आपको पता ही है. These are example of voice search and voice activity assistance. They're really good. Image recognition के भी मैंने example दी है. So image recognition, just like your Pinterest is a very good example of that. Okay, your facial recognition is also that. So machine learning from autonomous cars, from facial recognition, from your surveil system, from your optical character recognition. Very interesting. Even over here, machine learning is there. It learns. आपको पता है कि You have many OCR software, even if you write with your hand, it will be able to convert it into normal text. Again, AI is being used. Amazon is using in their recommendation engines. Okay, so right. Let me go back to the book. So, lastly, AI, machine learning, and deep learning. Uh, Both were developed in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. Okay, so most recent development is deep learning. Okay, so more work is done on the deep learning. It's more, as you can see, brain is still high because we talk about neural network. Okay, AI represents simulated intelligence in machines. Right, machine learning is the practice of getting machines to make decisions without being programmed. Deep learning is the process of using artificial neural network to solve complex problems. Now, whenever we refer to artificial neural networks, इसका मतलब ये है कि obviously ये तभी होगा when we again have a lot of database provided to it. So when we talk about data science is always integrated with deep learning, ये आप याद रखना. और डेटा साइंस के ऊपर बहुत काम हो रहा है, डेटा साइंस के ऊपर डिग्रीज भी ऑफर हो रही हैं. So data science is basically a part again of deep learning. AI is a subset of data science. Machine learning is a subset of AI in data science. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning. AI in data science, obviously, it's a part of it. Aim to build machines which are capable of thinking like humans. Aim to make machines learn through data so they can solve problems. Aim to build neural networks that automatically discover patterns for future detection. So in the human mimicking जो हम बात कर रहे हैं ना, वो सारा part आ रहा है आपका deep learning से. Okay, so AI is about generic term that basically represents the outcome of machine learning and deep learning. Okay, so it's more generic term. Right. Let's talk about all this in detail. So we have talked about all these three. So you have three kinds of AI. You have narrow AI is when machine has superior performance to humans when doing just one specific task. General AI is when machine is similar in performance to humans in any intellectual tasks. So generic in any, it's basically it's similar in performance to humans. It's general AI. Strong AI is when machine has a superior performance to human in many tasks. We are still under development of this strong AI right now. It has not been developed. It's still being developed. Okay, so you might have heard of Alexa. You might have heard of this. This is a product. मैं आपको ये भी share करूँगा. It's a very interesting product in which you can basically talk to this particular device or something. You can say, Alexa, whatever. Can you remind me at a particular time that I have to do this? Just you have to talk. Okay, can you tell me the temperature right now? Can you do this? So you can talk to this thing and it responds to you, just like in the past you used to have this in movies. So your analog signals are converted into binary, and you have a full built-in AI algorithm that interacts with the human's back. That's the way it goes on. Again, like I said, I will share a video of this and the other one with you. दो तीन share करूँगा, please वो देख लेना. So machine learning, basically, one of the examples that I gave you right now was of this of search engine. Okay, user keys search criteria into the search engine, which uses search bots to locate websites matching. User chooses one of the website found in page one. Good. The another user goes to page 2, 3, and 4 and find information. So if you have chosen one, the search engine classes this as success. The search engine classes this as failure. So once you cannot find information and you keep on going to multiple, and once you choose one and multiple users keep on choosing the same page again and again, it classes as successful page and also puts this particular page in its top ranking. This is what search engine optimization is done for websites. SEO इसको कहते हैं हम. Okay, machine learning is a key part of AI, and the various types of machine learning will be covered, right? First of all, let's look at two important terminologies known as labeled and unlabeled data. Hota kya? So let's look at this example. Suppose a garage selling cars obtains them from these three sources. Vehicles from source one are always cars and always come fully serviced. Okay. So source one में we always have cars and always come fully serviced. Vehicles from source two, जो source two से cars आएंगी, we just label them source two, are vans and are usually unserviced. ठीक हो क्या? Vehicle from source through को हम कहेंगे are motorbikes and usually serviced. ठीक है? So we have three sources and we have labeled them what these three sources represent. Vehicles less than 3 years old also come with a warranty. Thus the garage has stock. So vehicle one क्या होगा? Vehicle one में will have car which has been serviced and have a warranty. Vehicle two में will have van, no service, no warranty. Vehicle three, cars, no service, warranty, and four में motorbike, service, and warranty. So we just made different categories of different things for our showroom. So that's what we have. So if we come back into stock in the next few days, we generate vehicle 5. Vehicle 5 will have from source 1, 2 years old. So vehicle 6 from source 3 and 4 years old. So what is this? And vehicle 7 from source 2, 1 year old. So you can see vehicle 1, 2, 3, and 4. जिनकी हमने पहले बात की थी 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4 vehicle. Okay, are labeled data since we know what type of vehicle they are, whether they have been serviced, whether they have a warranty. Okay, however, vehicles 5, 6, and 7, 5, 6, and 7 जो बाद में declare हमने किए हैं, are unlabeled data since we do not know what type of vehicle they are and we only know their source and age. So we do know the source, we know their age, but we don't know about their other details. So they're considered as your unlabeled data. You get the point? So this is the difference between them. Unlabeled data is data which is unidentified and needs to be recognized. Some processing would need to be done before they could be recognized as car, van, or motorbike. You get the point? Okay? So,
yes, sir.
label data and...
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, beta?
नहीं सर मैं बता रही थी कि समझ आ गई है.
ठीक है, right. So let's look at another example. Okay. So machine learning में basically क्या होता है कि for example you want your machine to learn from its experiences that what are different kinds of bird. So obviously what you do is you take pictures of the bird, you make a model of it, and you train your computer to tell what are different kinds of birds actually are. So it would recognize that these are each type of bird because of the foreign recognition. Okay, just like the example I gave you before. Your spam detection is also done in your emails through machine learning. Spam detection किस तरह काम करता है? It would know, it would learn from its experiences every time, and उसको idea होगा not only by attachments but also the content that is written inside the email. One of the good example that maybe आपने experience किया हो या ना किया हो, these emails are very common for the past few years. Are these multiple people who say that my dear friend, I would like to just inform you that I would like to invest $100 million, out of which you will get 20% commission and all that. I mean, it's just like a very official letter someone sends you, और ये आते हैं, आपको पता नहीं आते होंगे, मुझे तो काफी आए हैं, and at the end they will simply try to fraud you by saying that we will give you a percentage of this. So let us start the process. Anyway, that's a lengthy view of defraud जो लोगों ने use किया हुआ है. Once you say, okay, fine, how can we do it? Because obviously everyone from inside is selfish. So होता ही है कि they will ask you that, okay, in order to process the information, you have to first send us this much money because I don't have any money right now. So anyway, trying to tell you is that how do your emails servers tend to recognize that these are spams or not. उनमें कोई attachment तो होती नहीं है, simple text होता है, and it's coming from email addresses which are quite valid. They're from Gmail, they're from other authentic servers. तो हम ये भी categorize नहीं कर सकते कि if the email comes from the following servers, we will consider it as not authentic, and from the following the authentic, ये भी नहीं हम कर सकते. Then how is it possible that emails that come from the following people with such a kind of text is considered as a spam? You get my point. This is what machine learning is doing, and it's a very intelligent thing. It basically knows that once such a kind of text that has been typed in, जिसमें ये phrases use किए हों बार बार, it will consider as a spam, like I told you, where the aim is just to tell the user, वही sentence बार बार use होते हैं कि my father left me $30 million from the bank and all that. And it is such an intelligent system कि उसको पता चल जाता है कि ये वही typical email है and the typical thing. So I would put this in spam. So that's the way it basically learns. Okay, so it's very अच्छा मैंने आपको बता भी दिया. So it's a very typical thing. It's a very big fraud coming in nowadays from different countries. So you don't trust anything. So you will see all these emails will not. अच्छा इस spam detection की वजह से कई दफा ये भी होता है. I have noticed okay, some of your important emails also go into your spam. Okay, because there is some content within these emails that was sent by your friend that उसने उसको list कर दिया into spam. Okay, I did not go into detail. I did not see कि उसमें क्या था, मगर I did notice कि at times even that happens. Obviously, उसमें detection होगा, कोई ना कोई चीज ऐसी होगी which would have been similar to all the spam emails. That's why it had to list it over there. Okay, so you have a supervised learning and unsupervised learning. मतलब ये supervised learning का मतलब ये कि the model has to be supervised and has to be trained by the human all the time. Okay, to go through the particular steps. It's known as supervised. Unsupervised obviously is that they are not trained using the right answer. Okay, so by making data more readable and more organized, patterns, similarities, anomalies will be evident. So they will start learning from their experiences. Okay. Reinforcement learning का मतलब है reward and punishment. Reward and punishment के मतलब वही जिससे मैंने Google example दी थी. They learn from the experience. Punishment को इसलिए use किया होता है कि obviously if something goes wrong, that wrong could actually lead to some problem. So reward and punishment. You learn and there might be something wrong. Okay, semi-supervised active learning. So semi-supervised learning makes use of labeled and unlabeled data to train algorithms that can interactively query the source data and produce desired output. Okay. Example of uses include the classification web page into sports, science, leisure, finance. A web crawler is used to look at large amount of unlabeled data pages, which is much cheaper than going through millions of pages and manually entering label. मैं आपको एक example देता हूँ. इसका मतलब क्या है? Whenever you launch a new website, for example, when I launched mrsyme.com, अब Mr. Syme जैसा word Google पे नहीं था. Okay, there might be lots of words, but Mr. Syme का नाम word था ही नहीं. It was first time it came in. So what web crawlers do is they go to the search engines database and they see कि एक नया word आया है on the World Wide Web, and that particular जो word है उसको उठाते हैं and they keep it in the database. So even though that the URL name of mine was an unlabeled web page, it did not have any labeled information. There was no definition about my website at that particular time. मगर वेब क्राउलर ने वो डेटा भी उठा के अपने डेटाबेस में रख दिया so that future में it could use it for the active learning. You get my point? But as visitors started using it, they knew कि इसमें काम का content है. The number of views kept on increasing. So it was no more a part of the semi-supervised thing. Okay. So web crawlers on the World Wide Web, they do a very amazing thing that every time a new word comes in, वो अपने database में save कर लेते हैं और फिर they use it for other people who might be searching for it. फिर पिन पॉइंट कर देते हैं क्या चीज थी. So deep learning, your facial recognition is basically a like example of your deep learning again. Okay. So what happens in deep learning? A facial recognition, a distance between the eyes, the width of the nose. So if you use facial recognition for with your phone, how does it detect it? It has to look at the following things: the shape of your cheekbone, the length of jaw, and the shape of eyebrows. It will look at the following things. So if you get a question where they tell you that how does facial recognition, what are the factors that your deep learning in AI looks at in facial recognition, you have to remember the following points. Okay. Yeah. I've shared this book with you as well. आप इसको भी use कर लिया करो. It explains in a much more easy manner as compared to the other book. इस book में उन्होंने ज़्यादा चीज़ों को complex ज़्यादा किया हुआ है और questions उस तरह के नहीं आते, questions इस तरह के आते हैं. You might have seen it. Even the questions which are at the back of this book, इनके chapters के, वो आपके CI के पेपर में सारे नहीं आते वो. They come in the diploma paper. But anyway, we will refer to this as well, revision में. You also have this deep learning in your to recognize a person faces. Okay, so each and every pixel को recognize करता है and sees where it is and calculates के यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक this much pixels have been used. So this is you. So it calculates everything at real very fast pace. Year from here is this much, well, whatever. So if obviously if you're wearing mask, आजकल तो वो काम नहीं करेगा. So basically, this is how it works. Text mining, computer. So again, there are more examples of this. Text mining basically again is that you can use AI to basically search for a lot of text from the internet. Computer assisted translation, Google Translate example hai, which again works through AI as well. Okay. Photographic enhancement, मैंने एक बात की आपको. For example, this one. Okay. For example, this one, a black and white photo which has been converted into color photo. This again happens through your deep learning. मैंने आपको भी explain किया कि उसको किस तरह पता कि this is okay. ये तो बड़ा typical चीज़ है. Obviously, all the time you can judge कि cloud gray होगा और sky color blue होगा. Okay, and obviously, if you have a lake, it can tell you what the color of the lake will be. But then a more tough thing will be objects के लिए. How would it know that what color of the building will it be? इसके लिए it needs to have a lot of database through which it can compare and contrast what probability is that this will be of this color or not. So deep learning, artificial neural network will be doing a lot of comparisons within the data before it comes to a conclusion, tells you what it is. So it will take the input from different sources, but all these need to be compared again and again and to see yes or no. So very, very thorough deep learning process. Okay, this happens through this way. Chat box, आपने देखा होगा on many websites you have chat box. They're basically not humans, then they can reply to your questions when you type in there as if they're humans. Again, an example of your machine AI, artificial replicated patterns of humans. You feel as if they're humans. Okay. So how do they work? Obviously, there's a complex algorithm जो back पे create कर देते हैं. So whenever you ask random questions, उन strings को वो combine करते हैं. Or in strings, what they do is, if the following strings are occurring, uske upar, if they appear, then the following statement will be displayed. So since again there will be a lot of database through which you will compare what strings are being typed, and uske relatively the answer will be given. So again, this all comes from deep learning and machine learning, where अगर आपके बहुत सारे डेटाबेस हो उसके साथ वो कंपेयर कर सकेंगे. That's how chat box basically work. Okay, but chat box usually give you always the answers ऐसा नहीं बनी देते. So that's an example. Can you give me your order number, please? I can check it back to you. This one. So a typical questions obviously हो जाएंगे. But even if you have questions in a very uh, bad grammatic English as well, it would even answer that because that's part of of it. Spelling mistakes are part of it as well. It would know all that. It has to behave, and this is obviously improving more and more. So again, it's comparison of machine learning and deep learning. मैंने पहले भी discuss कर लिया है आपके साथ. Okay, you should go through this again. What's happening in the future? Obviously, AI is not going to stop. Okay, your hyper intelligent personal assistants will be developed. Um, मैंने पहले ही बात की थी कि obviously ये तो generally बात की है ना उन्होंने. AI can be a big problem as well. Okay, it's a good thing as well. So AI should not be developed. So let's say if they ask you to evaluate, obviously as far as army is concerned, as far as weapons are concerned, AI should not be integrated till that particular field. That could be a big problem, and this will actually happen. So if AI, just like programmers came in to develop some good programs, you had hackers who are there, and they're also good programmers who can hack into systems. So when you have people who will be developing super artificial intelligence, there will be people who will be developing artificial intelligence in a negative aspect. And when that happens, AI is the biggest concern in that particular